Greetings. It's Monday, March the 16th in the unholy year of 2026. I'm Thomas Caldwell of the Aurelian Column, and this is the Monday Morning Report. The war continues in the Middle East. It's growing, or is it growing? That's the subject of today's discussion. Now, there's a lot going on. Other stories not being touched, of course, that much is the Epstein files. Well, the Epstein files are being discussed, and some interesting revelations about Mr. Bill Gates and exactly how close he was to the man have been coming out. I'm not a big fan of Bill. A lot of people aren't. You can keep your worms, Bill, and please start selling off some of the many, many millions of acres of farmland that you've decided to obtain and not use. The cartels down in Mexico, what's going on with them? I thought Mexico was on the verge of civil war. Suddenly that stopped. Well, that stopped when the missiles started flying, the carriers started launching, and the oil stopped flowing. Now things are moving quickly or slowly, depending on your point of view. Really, folks, there's an awful lot that we don't know about this. And I've been saying that for a while. But what we're seeing that's the real casualty of this war is the quality of information coming out of it. I have my own sources in the Middle East, and I've been in touch with them. And from what I can tell, the U.S. and Israel are doing a lot better than the talking heads on the mainstream media, but more important, the alternative media, which I thought was, well, above what they're doing these days. There's a lot of people out there that want to know the future. A lot of people out there that are wringing their hands, even though they're not going to be shot at or at the receiving end of a missile. At least we hope not. Most people are just concerned about gasoline prices and how the economy is going to be affected. But what I'm seeing online is something that I was taught many, many, many years ago, is that the average person does not know how to obtain information, nor do they know how to process it. For example, on the last few days, there were reports that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had died. He had been killed in a missile attack. Nobody talked about the Sabbath or the day on Saturday when he wasn't supposed to do anything. He ended up showing up at a coffee shop. There were all sorts of things like was being generated by AI. And although it seems that he's still intact, the Israelis are pretty good at hiding in bunkers. Much better than the Iranians have proven to be, that's for sure. This war is probably going to result in the end of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Great, but where's it going to go from there? I mean, when the Kaiser's government was overthrown at the end of World War I in Germany, everyone thought it was going to be peachy keen until a failed artist from Austria showed up on the scene and, well, as they say, the rest is history. You don't know where things go, which is why wars are so dangerous. But this one, the U.S. has to win. But one of the dangers in war is information, propaganda, people making decisions based on what they're seeing. And with AI added into the mix, which is producing all sorts of false information, fires, bombings, airplane fighters hitting each other, all sorts of things, you really don't know what's what anymore. I really don't know what information that I usually go to is accurate and what isn't. I mean, some people on the ground there telling me what they're seeing, that's one thing, but this is what I'm calling the death of information because we can't rely on it. Information is only useful if it has accuracy added onto it. And we're not seeing that. We're not seeing that at all. And, of course, we have all sorts of innuendos of people that may or may not have betrayed the U.S. government, including a very famous podcaster. I won't mention the name right now. What we're going to be looking at here is a war that's being fought blind. We really don't know what's happening, less so than just about any other war in human history. World War II, we had very good reporting from the field. That was very important for the American people and people around the world. Ed Murrow reporting from London during the Blitz, or Walter Cronkite, before he became the anchor of the CBS Evening News, was at Normandy when they landed in 1944. The Korean War, we had great correspondents. I got to know some of them that were retired during my career in mainstream media. The Vietnam War, we had a lot of great people. Even the Gulf Wars. But right now, we do not have any reliable information. This is on account of, well, it's on account of the internet, social media. Anybody with an opinion can go out there and claim they hear something. That added in with people who are retired military, retired intelligence services, retired politicians, or even active politicians trying to play up to audiences. No, this is a hard one, folks, because we really do not have reliable intel for the general public on what's going on with Iran, the United States, Israel, and all the other countries in the region. We have a bunch of people spouting opinions, and when you heard these stories about Netanyahu being dead, and then him, of course, coming back to life, it just shows how dangerous this can be, because if you've ever been to the offices of senior politicians or government leaders or something, they're all looking at news broadcasts. They get a lot of their information from that. At least they used to. It wasn't uncommon back in the day for all three major networks at the time, and this was before CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS. Presidents would have all three televisions right in front of them during crises. Other world leaders would as well. And the problem with information is if it's inaccurate, miscalculations can be made, tragedies of enormous magnitude could then be made to occur. So, I don't know what to tell you except be extremely careful about what you see, but at the same time, now more than ever, it pays to be emotionally detached from what's going on, especially since you don't have any say in it. Realistically, you don't. You can call the White House and let your opinion be known. Okay, great. Donald Trump is not running for re-election. Big deal. You can call members of Congress. Well, they've been trying to get rid of him for a decade now, and I don't think that's going to do much good. There's nothing you can really do except wring your hands and worry and not get on with life. I think right now when this war is finally over, when the dust settles and everything is looked at and analyzed, you're going to find that what went on for real and what we were told, not just by the government, but by various people who we were expecting to tell us the truth, as opposed to having us buy their T-shirts, coffee mugs, and click on their like buttons. There's going to be a need for a complete reassessment of how internet information or information in general is passed along in a free society. It has to be accurate. It has to be non-emotional. It has to be non-judgmental. Because when things are not truthful, what are they? Organized lies. And when people miscalculate, they almost always do so because they don't have all the facts. Facts are what's important. So as this war continues, as more of Iran is destroyed and more of the people who are planning to take over there are starting to vie for power, and there's more than just the son of the late Shah, by the way. There's a few different factions. Just remember that nothing ever happens in war the way you want it to. The outcome is not going to be, it's not going to be what you would expect. But what it's going to be, your guess is as good as mine. Welcome to the news business, people. Welcome to real journalism. Welcome to asking the question and not necessarily having the answer. That's it for today. If you appreciate my work, please like, subscribe, and share. Share with your friends and share with your enemies. And there are enemies out there, so be careful. I can be reached at feedback@aureliancolumn.com. That's feedback@aureliancolumn.com. I'm up on X. My handle there is MICCAMPEN. That's MICCAMPEN. This podcast originates at Substack. My handle there is aureliancolumn.substack.com. Until we meet again, be good, be safe, be vigilant, and remember Clown World, the deep state, and all those who profit from misinformation must be destroyed. Good day.